Hi, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Sabrina Register. Today we're in Seattle at the Northwest African American Museum. And joining me right now, Dan Satterberg, King County Prosecuting Attorney. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Happy New Year to you.
It's great to be with you, Sabrina.
Thank you. You have some good news about crime in King County. Let's discuss some of those numbers.
Are you ready for some good news?
We're ready for good news.
Well, you might not know it if you watched a lot of cable TV or read the newspaper, because crime stories are still big. But the good news is that overall, over the last 30 years in our state, major serious crimes have fallen 44%.
So, which is great news. Are we talking all crimes or certain crimes, and have others risen?
So we're talking about the reported crime rate per 100,000 citizens, so it's a constant number. And we're talking about the category that the FBI calls Part 1 crimes. That's their lingo for murders, rapes, robberies, assaults, burglaries, and car theft. It does not include drug offenses, which is its own story. But in those serious categories of cases, in the last 30 years, it has fallen 44%. And that's a remarkable statistic for us.
And that's in King County?
That's in the state of Washington.
State of Washington.
Now,
and what do you attribute to that?
Well, you know, overall, the United States crime has been falling too over that same period. For instance, in 1980, the murder rate was 10 murders per 100,000. Last year, it was 5 murders per 100,000. So overall, we are reflecting that, but we're actually ahead of the curve too in the way that the state has addressed serious crime. The reason for it is a number of things. One, since 1980, we have invested significant amount of public money into the criminal justice system, building more prisons and more jails, more courtrooms, more prosecutors, more public defenders, more police. So it was an investment that needed to be made. We doubled the amount of money that each taxpayer now pays for the criminal justice system, but look at what the investment returned, a 44% drop in serious crimes. But we've been smart about it too. We haven't just used prison as a way to get out of this. If you look at the statistics, Washington ranks 44th out of the 50 states in our per capita incarceration. So we're doing other things at the local level, and the one area that really stands out is how we've dealt with drugs.
And talk about that, because it is a little different, and you've got these illustrations to show what's been happening over the last 10 years.
So it started out, the state's first reaction when the crack epidemic hit in the late 1980s, early 90s, was to get tough. And we doubled and tripled sentences. People were going to prison for 6 to 8 to 10 years for selling a small amount of drugs. In 1994, in King County, we started a drug court, which recognized that there could be good people who get involved in drug addiction, and they need treatment, they deserve some help. And so over the years, drug treatment has become part of the menu of options within the criminal justice system. So more and more and more, we are using the local diversion, the local treatment, and less sending people to prison. In fact, in 1990, we sent almost 2,000 people to prison just from King County. Last year, we sent only 373. So those numbers are down too.
But you hear so much about meth. I mean, it's a drug, so is that part of the equation, or are the reports, we're just seeing a lot of reports, or is it actually decreasing?
Well, meth is a terrible drug, and it has a powerful grip on people, as does crack, as does oxycodone and some of the prescription drugs. We're doing a better job of helping people get out of those addictions. Rather than treating them as criminals and locking them up, knowing that the day we let them out, they're going to want to go get a fix again, we're actually giving them a helping hand. Something
I find interesting is those who are in prison, drug convictions, they also have past history of violent crimes.
Well, what's happened because of reducing the number of people who are going to prison, the people who are in prison, frankly, they deserve to be there. 70% of them are there for violent crimes, and the 30% who are there for a property crime today have a violent crime in their past. So that's why I get worried when I see the legislature wanting to let people out of prison, because we have carefully and intelligently used that scarce and expensive resource of a prison cell in a very specific and calculated way. The people who are in prison today deserve to be there. We don't overuse prison, and it really kind of undermines what I think is a remarkable story, that we've done a lot since 1980 to bring the crime rate down. This is a much safer place to live than it was then, a much better place to live, and there's hope for the future.
Dan Satterberg, thanks so much. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Appreciate the good news. Thank you. Thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers Headline News at the top and bottom of the hour.